Hi, I'm here again today with Vista Chats. This is Lisa from Marketing and Strategic Communications. And I'm here today with Debi. A lot of you already know her. She's been here for a while, I know that. But we're going to get to know her a little differently than maybe some of us have ever known her before. So Debi, would you like to tell us what your title is at the college right now?
I am the Vice President for Student Success.
Okay. And have you ever counted, how many titles have you had at the college?
I can give them to you. I was Associate Director of Admissions and Records. I was the Director of Student Life. I was the Director of Student Life and Leadership. I was the Director of Advising, the Dean for Student Success, and now the Vice President for Student Success.
Awesome. She has them all memorized. That's great. That's awesome. That's a lot. And I know you've been here for a while. How many years have you been at the college?
I am in my 21st year.
21st year. That's wow.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. So you were here almost from the very beginning.
I was here when there was dirt here.
Yes.
That's about all that was here.
Right.
I was interviewed in a construction trailer.
Oh wow. That's even better. So she's seen that actually logo that we have playing that everybody says we didn't know we had that one.
Love it.
That red one, yeah. So
my favorite. No, that one's not my favorite. The tree and the man and the river and the moon.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
That's the best one, yeah. And the shadow behind it is the one that was sort of controversial. So we put it as a shadow. So, what kind of things do you do in your current job?
You could call it the Vice President of Stuff. So, meetings probably more than anything else.
Right.
The good and the bad that comes with that. But it's meetings about everything that has to do with the support services. So I could be in meetings that have to do with Alamo Promise, lots of those. It could be about our enrollment management plan. It could be about advising our enrollment coaches model, student life, experiential learning, our advocacy center, counseling, disability services, our student development course.
Yeah.
It's incredible because even though it's a lot of meetings and discussions and planning, it's about so many different things that it keeps it alive and exciting and it's ever changing.
That's a huge area there. You have a lot of things that are underneath of that, that sort of that side. And I know you all are kind of looking forward probably to moving into the Desert Willow Welcome Center when it opens. We're not sure on that yet, but
we're looking at the move will be happening late May.
Yeah.
We're planning for the week of May 18th is when we start to make the move.
Oh, great.
So the teams that are in HH stay in HH and MLH will stay in MLH, but it's the team that's in Cypress right now will all transition over.
Right, so you guys have some room and you'll be able to spread out a little bit more because I know it's very, very tight back in the rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, good for you. I'm glad
I call it all the time 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah, so,
we know each other quite well.
I've been in offices like that too, so I know how that goes. So what did you study in college? What was your degree plan, or what was your, what degree did you end up earning?
A bachelor's degree is a sociology degree.
Okay.
And at the graduate level, master's level, it's human sciences, so it's more of the social sciences, so primarily psychology and sociology.
Yes.
And all of that I consider a lightning strike. So I was when I went to school, I went to St. Philip's. Some of y'all might not know that I graduated from Harlandale, and then went to St. Philip's on a volleyball scholarship. And I was undecided most of the time that I was at St. Philip's. Yeah. And my assistant coach, Dr. Tom Hoy, ended up becoming the vice president at SAC a few years later. He was my advisor and was getting a full ride to Texas Tech to play volleyball. And he said I could not go undecided, that I needed to make a decision.
Right, yeah.
And I said I wanted to do what he does. But I had never been able to articulate what I wanted to do. That's why I had been undecided. But when he put pressure on me, I loved all the support and help and guidance and care that he had given. I just said, let me do what you do.
You had your mentor right there.
Yeah, and what's funny is he was an advisor, a counselor advisor at that time. And then fast forward, when I finished up, ended up coming to Northwest Vista. He was the first person I called. He was a vice president at San Antonio College. So I didn't mean at that time that I wanted to be a vice president, but it's kind of interesting that all these years later, I kind of
followed in that same kind of path. Yeah, that's awesome. Is he still at SAC?
He retired. It's been a while now. It's probably been a good 10 years. Yeah. That he retired, but he's still out reffing and officiating. Oh,
that's terrific.
Volleyball and stuff.
Well, that's great. It's awesome to have a mentor like that you can follow along with. Right. And everybody needs someone like that, I think, to help them in their career path.
Absolutely.
So, you've told us a little bit about why you chose that field, but like while you were in college, while you were getting your master's degree, what were the things that you really enjoyed doing in those classes?
Well, what's interesting is I was at Olu at the time as an employee, so I was working in their support services, and I had wanted to pursue counseling.
Yeah.
So I had started their counseling program,
Yes.
and I was thinking about doing their PsyD. And I enjoyed it. The classes were great, and I can remember the first, and it was still within like those first 3 or 4 classes. We were in a class where we needed to start practicing counseling, kind of shadowing, and we had to land on the theory that we liked the most and the approach. And I remember as a student in the class realizing that I didn't know if I wanted to be that person.
Yeah. Maybe that wasn't for you.
Yeah, like I could help, but help with it being my responsibility and the burden. I wanted to be more of a natural help versus somebody that's paying me to help. So I was struggling a little bit with that. And so then I made the decision, because with human sciences, I had the opportunity to bring sociology into the mix and not do counseling, but just do the social sciences, the human sciences. And since sociology was my undergraduate, I thought it'd be great to be able to look at both psych and sociology.
Oh, yeah, together. Right. Yeah, that's they match so well.
And so I'm one of those examples of all the way through, I kind of embraced the unknown and the undeclared. And so I do, we pick up our biases because of some of our experiences. So sometimes I struggle, the student needs to make a decision, the student needs to make a decision. It's like, I don't know that I still have yet to make a decision. I had to make decisions based on my experience and based on life. And it's hard sometimes for us to expect our students, coming right out of high school, to have it all played out. So we need to really be mindful to plan for the exploration. And the journey, and a big part of the journey is exploring who they are. And
I completely agree with that. That's something that I did for myself in college. So I think that's really great.
Very good.
And I know, just so everybody knows, my daughter goes here, and she's had a great experience with that.
Very good.
With her advisor and everybody over there being really open to her exploring those things.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Amazing.
They really are.
That is a courageous job. Let me tell you.
I can only imagine that they have pretty full schedules, because I've seen those emails.
Yes,
I know. So one of the other classes I have here is, what do you like to do for fun besides coming to Northwest Vista?
Okay, so I like to eat. That always brings me joy and fun. I'm a big sports fan. So, and it doesn't matter what the sport is. Every weekend there is something big happening.
That's true.
So first and foremost, I'm going to follow my Spurs. So that's always, those are recorded and those are watched, every single one of them, beginning to end.
Go Spurs, go.
Big Cowboys fan as well. Always, all through the years, Cowboy fan. Loved watching the Kansas City Chiefs win. You got Mahomes, who's from, we call him my homie. He's from Texas Tech. Texas boy. So
that's my home. That's my hometown area, back up in there. So
he did such a great job. So he made me a Chiefs fan because I wanted to follow him and some of the Texas Tech link there. But we love tennis. We'll watch pretty much anything that's out there. And then time with family. As always, looking for opportunities to be with the kids and to be with the family.
That's great,
breakfast, we try and have part of my family with a sister and brother-in-law and their kids and our kids. We spend a lot of time together with them.
That's great,
and we'll always, look for the breakfast, the lunch, or the dinner, on weekends to just talk about life, talk about our journeys, talk about travel. Love to travel. We haven't had a chance to travel a lot, but I enjoy dreaming and thinking and planning and
someday
pondering
one day,
and wondering exactly about someday one day I will conquer the world, and I get a lot of joy out of that. So whether I get to actually travel to those places, I feel like I have.
Because you've done the research and right?
It's like, man, I can see.
That's a lot of fun.
So it is a lot of fun. A cup of coffee, good taco and chips and salsa.
I was going to ask what kind of food, but I think we just figured that out.
Guacamole, queso, chips, coffee. And I'm there. That's fun.
That is the fun stuff, actually.
That's fun for me.
Okay, so what was the last movie that you actually went to the theater and watched?
So we do movies a lot. My husband and I, we had gone away from movies for years and years and years. I don't know why that happened. We just, it'd have to be something really special. But more recent, as the kids have gotten older, he and I have been really good about just kind of the date time. We don't necessarily say date night or date time, but we do need that time together, and we enjoy going to movies. And so recently there's a movie out called Gentlemen, and Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Hugh Grant. Fantastic. We went.
That's awesome.
There wasn't anything else that weekend that caught our eye, and that one did, and we were pleasantly surprised. It was quite fun. Hugh Grant and Charlie Hunnam. Those of y'all that might be Sons of Anarchy fans, was it Jax from Sons of Anarchy. Hugh Grant and his character are fabulous together.
Yeah.
It's quite entertaining.
Well, if you like whodunits, see Knives Out.
I've seen Knives Out. I loved
Wasn't it great?
It was absolutely phenomenal. And there's a lot
whodunit.
of kind of similarities.
Yeah, between
of
the
way
two.
the movies play out. So yeah, so
Oh,
you would like
something
you would
like
like
that too,
Gentlemen.
then.
You would like it.
Two people telling you right now to go see them.
Yeah,
So-
those are both good movies.
So is there a movie that comes on TV? I ask everybody this. Mine is Galaxy Quest, but if a movie comes on TV and it's anywhere in the movie, you have to stop and watch the rest of it.
You know, it's funny. I was just mentioning Hugh Grant, Notting Hill.
Oh, I love that movie. Oh my
love
gosh.
Notting Hill. and what's I don't know why.
I'm just a girl standing in
I'm
front
just
of a
girl
boy.
standing in a boy, asking him to love me. I love it. I love it.
The perfect line from that
Come
movie.
on. What's not to like about that? I stand in front of people all the time saying, "Come on, I'm just a girl. I blew it again. Would you please forgive me?"
Right, exactly.
And that's where that line comes
Yes,
from.
that's awesome.
Maybe I do need to start saying, "I'm just a girl and I blew it, and I'm asking you to love me."
And they'll say yes.
Yeah, of course,
They'll say
of course.
They'll come running after you to the airport. But so let's see. What was the last thing that made you actually really laugh out loud?
Oh,
You seem like a person
golly,
that's you've got
yeah.
a lot of humor and a lot of fun in you. So
Gosh, let me think of what would have been. We were sadly together with family over the last couple of days. We have our oldest brother from my husband's family, our brother-in-law. I'm married to my husband's sister. Passed away last week.
I'm so very sorry to hear that.
And it was very sad and very hard. He was a double transplant survivor of 8 years.
Wow, my gosh.
A liver and a kidney transplant back in 2012, April of 2012.
Wow, that's awesome though.
So,
that part, yeah,
and,
that's
and
terrific.
at that time
yeah.
they knew his lungs were not good at that time, so they knew that there was going to be some problems. But we were together with family
Yeah.
and celebrating, and we were outdoors and. Well, I was inside first. I was sitting with my sister-in-law and some of my sister-in-laws and friends and family. The guys had all headed outside. And one brother-in-law comes in and says, "Hey, Janie, do you have any manteca?" And she's like, "Oil? No, manteca. Like I need like Crisco. I mean, like, well, like bacon grease. Do you have manteca? And she said, yeah. So she points to the manteca, and then another brother-in-law comes in and, "Hey, Janie, would you?" And they're asking for all these obscure things.
Okay.
And then finally it was like, we're talking, and then it was like, "Hang on a second, everybody. Is there any woman outside with the boys? Like, have we not learned that you cannot leave a Gaitan man, especially a group of Gaitan men, alone?" Sure enough, we go outside. They had gotten a wheelbarrow. They had found like chairs in the lawn, and they were breaking the chairs. Breaking up the chairs because they couldn't find wood.
Oh no.
And they have a bonfire going with bacon grease. To have like not only to light it, but to have the smell. Like, what's better than the smell of bacon?
Yeah.
And they were telling. So we all ended up sitting out there, and it's just you're in your grief, and the loss of our brother Johnny, and in the joy and just laughter, laughter of all the stories and all the memories and just
the family together and
I mean, we cried from sadness and we cried more from joy.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a big, it's a big part of how we want our lives to be.
Yeah, and what a tribute to him though, that you could do that. So
but in the loss, you have all this beautiful memory, and it brings family together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is really beautiful, and the time together and spending time, and just everybody sharing the burden. But I probably don't laugh more than when I'm with family.
Yeah, that's your
sister,
time. Yeah,
and my husband's family.
Yeah, me and my daughter and my sister were all alike, and we laugh. We all have the same humor, so we get that. That's we do that a lot.
There's a YouTube channel called Dry Bar, and there are comedians that are on Dry Bar.
So they're safe.
They are
comedians. They talk about things that are not controversial. Yes,
kids are there, and so I was trying to think of one in particular about that. No, go to Dry Bar. It's fun. The comedians are good.
Hilarious.
You will laugh.
Stuff.
You will laugh.
Jim Gaffigan's on there a lot, I think. So yeah. But so what I'm going to ask you is, what is your favorite thing about the NVC campus, the campus itself?
Oh yeah. Let's see. One thing in particular. I mean, I gotta say the lake. I mean, you just have to. It's gorgeous. Even when the years where we've struggled, with the I can't even think of what it's called, but when it would get the slime, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing.
Yeah.
And I think it centers the campus. So anything you do walking around, you have kind of the hub of the institution. It's a little sad that the Welcome Center is going to get tiered away from that.
I was wondering how that would feel.
I think it's good in the long run, because what that does is it creates an opportunity to bring in more classes and labs into the center, which I think is really important for our students, because they're going to be there more often in their classes.
In those ways,
And so I think it's good, and it tiers the Welcome Center to the perimeter, so our brand new students could get to it easily.
They come into that way, and then they come into the rest of the campus with the lake. And
and I think it'll be exciting, like the tours, because right now they come to the building and they kind of see the college before we get a chance to tour them. It's almost like it's going to be a reveal.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's true.
You open the curtain, it's like, oh my God, we didn't know this was here.
The curtains in the breezeway at LOH, and just walk through those.
Are you ready for the reveal? I'm going to pull it back.
We have to do that for the grand opening of the building. I don't know. From the other direction.
That would be fun. The reveal of the campus. So it's not the reveal of the building. We'll do the reveal of the campus.
I like that.
I'm going to talk to the team and see. We need to
how are we going to do that?
That would be
so.
Thank you.
You know that we have our 9 values on campus that are now called touchstones. Which one of those do you feel like you relate to the most on campus?
Yeah. So joy has always been that first place that I would go for many, many, many years. Loved it. Thought it was part of our uniqueness, and most certainly still embrace that and are reminded, on a regular basis to be joyful in our work. But through the years, as responsibilities change, our eras kind of change, responsibilities. I had been leaning towards learning for quite some time. For us as an organization, for me as an individual, to realize and recognize places where I needed to grow and learn, lots of them. And then more recently, with work that we're doing with our equity, and we've named the work only because it helps us to keep in mind it's so much going on, but aid. So we look at access to higher education, advocacy for our students, inclusion in the manner in which we do our work, being responsible and open and appreciative and thankful for our diversity of who we are, and then the equity in the work that we're doing. And so when I think about the touchstones, diversity and openness are kind of the two that probably resonate right now, especially with that work.
I love that we can use them at different times. And for different feelings in different places where we're at. Yeah,
because they're alive, and then they ground us. Because I need those things. So I will say the thing that has grounded me the most through all the years, to include joy as an example, and going back to joy. There's a few of them, and I'm going to say them real quick because they mean a lot to me.
Okay.
So in addition to the touchstones, the student-centeredness. So always coming back to, are the things that we're doing student-centered, which then leads to the learning piece, because we can't be student-centered to our fullest capability if we don't know who our students are. So we center based on what we think they would want. So we need to learn more about who they are and what their needs are, and then center around their needs. And then folks know, many folks would know that I love the together in our vision statement. So, and feel free, if y'all need to cut this out, you feel free to cut this out. But those of y'all probably know and have had fun with when you get a fortune cookie and you add something to the end of the fortune cookie statement, and then you laugh a lot. Okay, I put together.
I heard a story about y'all, but that's okay.
I put together. So we are going to be the best community college in the nation together. We are going to roll out the Alamo Promise to the community together. We are going to embrace diversity and celebrate our differences together. So to me, the together,
it's that other statement
I mean, you just put that at the end. Now, if it's negative statements, I guess we're still together on that as well.
Sometimes we have to deal with those too.
Yes,
so I mean, but we're going to do it together and make it right.
So you circle the wagons and you're together.
That's awesome.
And it's just very powerful, and creating opportunities for success. So when I'm in the hardest of moments and decisions, those are the kinds of things I have to draw back on those. So is this going to create an opportunity for success? First for our students, then for our team members, our employees, and then we're probably making a good decision, and we're doing it together, and it's bringing us joy, and
Yeah.
we're celebrating our differences. So they don't just, they're just not hanging on a wall, those, or in a catalog, but you have to bring them into your work.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to ground yourself.
Think about them as you're
Mhm.
doing your job. Yeah, that's awesome.
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier.
Well, talking about some of those things, we're also going to ask about the strategic plan.
Okay, yeah.
So the care, achievement, and distinction part of the strategic plan. Which area in there do you feel like you focus on the most, yourself or in your job? Either way.
Care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be for me leading with care, because in the work that we do, especially in students, well, I shouldn't say especially, and in student success, is that opportunity to be with the students as they're first making those decisions
Yeah.
about college. Is this really for me?
Yeah.
And leading with care,
Yeah.
and helping the students to feel confident that they have an opportunity,
Yeah.
that if they choose Northwest Vista as their college, that we would care about their success, and we would care about who they are as a person. And I think the achievement then comes through the students being successful.
Yeah.
So the care brings them in, the achievement of the quality learning in our faculty, embracing the students through the learning experience and giving them an experience that you might not have at other institutions that are bigger.
Caring about them enough to make them want to achieve.
Yeah, and then do it in a way that makes us different, because all institutions say they're student-centered and they care and they're the best.
Yeah.
So we have to find what truly makes us distinct.
Our college. What is our college that does that?
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's awesome. So actually, you did all three. So that's great. That's,
I never can make a decision.
You can't make just one. Well, I feel that way too, because I think different parts of your job require you to be different parts of the strategic plan.
And not separating them out, right?
Yeah.
You got to look at the
They
whole.
kind of go together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I'm going to ask you about is, what kind of advice would you like to give? And you can choose either a student that's just starting out or an employee that's just starting at Vista. What kind of advice would you give them for, moving forward?
Okay. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm going to take the opportunity to share something that's even new to me, something that I'm starting to stretch into.
Okay.
And want to use it, to kind of further my skills, and it's what we're starting to call fundamental cares. What do we as a person, a human being, fundamentally care about is so important for the person that is hearing that to understand. And a big part of that is about our student. Have we taken time to know what that student fundamentally cares about, so we're not imposing ourselves onto them?
I like that.
And so we have to listen for their cares. We have to be curious about their care.
Yeah.
And then we know what they would need, because we have given them the opportunity to talk to us and share with us who they are, what's important to them, what they value.
Right.
And it's the same for employees, especially a new employee that you're just hiring into higher ed, and we do that a lot of times in student success. They're brand new to this type of field. And we're hiring to what appears to be this great fit, and most of it is that student-centeredness.
Yeah.
Joyful, open, diverse, fun, friendly individuals.
Caring kind of people, yeah.
And we hire to that, and we can't then assume that they would immediately be able to step in and start having conversations with students about what they care about.
Yeah.
And so the better we can get at learning what matters most to others, then student-centeredness becomes even more distinct.
Yeah,
because
and
it's not
it
just
flows.
about us.
It flows right into that. Yeah.
And how
That's
do you know
terrific.
you're student-centered? Because we know our students, because they've told us these things.
And we
They've
listened.
shared these things. And then one other thing that's also new in some of the promise work that's going on is looking at different philosophers and research around like these intergenerational cycles of poverty.
Yeah.
And what we're learning is in San Antonio, where the zip code that you were born in is going to determine your social mobility, your social economic mobility. And so trying to learn more about that, and I hate to use the term, but it is real. I mean, it's oppression, and it could be an oppressed culture that's in this cycle.
They may not even realize that.
Well, and to a great extent, you know, I feel like a big part of my upbringing, there were hints of that. But I mean, we were happy and we had quality of life, and so so we don't want to impose something different onto anybody else or to assume that there's not quality, because quality is definitely there.
Yeah.
But how can we in education, higher education, help to better understand
maybe what they need to enhance?
Yeah. And so some of the research talks about those of us that are oppressed can overcome oppression when led by people that have been oppressed.
Yeah.
It's so there has to be this
you
idea
you have to have sort of been there to understand maybe where they're coming from.
To a certain extent, that
or
that's
know,
part of the need.
Be at least trained maybe a little bit, because I think people can be trained in some of those things as well.
Understanding of what that is. So I'm trying to, again, it's part of the learning that I'm going through. I have so much to learn. I have you know, I've lived my life, and I've had opportunities, and I'm at that point in my career where I'm trying to slow down and try and figure out, first of all, what happened with me, and then not to make a template out of that for somebody else, but to at least have understanding for myself. Where might I have had decisions that might have taken me in a different direction. Right. So I'm trying to learn more about, if the goal is to be helping our community with promise, I want to better understand the community. And I guess it's that same thing. I want to know what they fundamentally care about.
Right.
So it comes back to that same
thing.
Versus you need to go to school. You'll be so much better if you go to school. It can't be that.
In communication, the term is self-aware.
Self-aware.
When we talk about you know, how you can better communicate with other people, is to be self-aware. And I think that's where that is sort of maybe centered at too. So that's really great. I love that.
Thank you.
So if there's anything else that you'd like to share before we end. I think we went over a lot, but
thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate, even though it's a little uncomfortable, right, for us to have, it's kind of strange.
But it's fun.
Because I don't have my chips and salsa and guacamole, and we're not at a Mexican restaurant. But I do want to thank you for the opportunity, and sincerely want you and others to know that this institution is just unlike anything I've ever seen. And I've had a chance to travel, even as an athlete, getting a chance to, as a student, travel around and visually be on a lot of universities around the country. And then in my travels with work, it's just amazing. It's special, it's unique. It is grounded on a core that is alive. And I think the touchstones, the mission and the vision are testaments to our heartbeat. They're not, again, they don't just sit on a wall. And so I would encourage those of you that have not had an opportunity to step into our touchstones and step into our mission, step into our vision, to please do that, because to work for an organization that has such incredible rooted foundations, and you're not there at that level of understanding of what we're trying to do, I would encourage you to do that. It is what makes you Vista. It is what makes us bleed purple, because I'm in the lifeline of this organization. And our students need that. Our students need to know that you not only are fabulous at what you do and incredibly talented, but you've chosen to share those talents here with them. And it's important for them to know that.
That's a great statement. That's a great way to end it today, I think. So,
thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to thank Debbie for coming and visiting with us today and having a good conversation. If you have any questions, you can put them in the Facebook question comments, and we'll get them back to Debbie, and we can put them in La Revista later, and we can get her to answer some of those questions if you have anything that you want us to know. Other than that, stay tuned for our next Vista Chats next month. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you.